Good morning, Finovate. I'm Max Peasley, a senior solution engineer at Telesign. Telesign is a global leader in the digital identity and authentication space. And fun fact, we as a company were the ones that invented the one-time passcode over 20 years ago. For everyone who attended Telesign's demo last year, I'm sure you remember my colleague, Michael Lappin, who provided a demo on Telesign's intelligence solution by running a mix of fraudulent and non-fraudulent numbers through the solution dashboard in real time. This solution aims to combat a multitude of fraud vectors by utilizing over 2,000 signals, including phone numbers, email addresses, and IP addresses, to ultimately provide a recommendation to either allow, block, or flag a transaction. However, today's topic is looking at a retrospective of last year at Telesign. Lots of people get up on stage, claim certain topics, certain initiatives, or achievements about their solutions, but don't typically back it up with data. Here at Telesign, we do things a little bit differently. We substantiate our claims with real, hard data, and that's exactly what I'll be showing you today here. Insights derived from an entire year of our own customers' proof of concepts utilizing our solutions. A small handful of people out there might be wondering, what is a POC? To put it simply, it's where our customers put our solution to the test in the real world, in real-world scenarios, evaluating how well they will work before full implementation. Over the past year, Telesign has done just that, with 396 digital identity proof of concepts, analyzing over 65 million numbers across a wide range of industries, geographies, and use cases. So let's dive into those POCs now. So as you can see, the POCs span various regions from North America to Asia, Europe, and more. Our most ran POC datasets were a mix of global traffic labeled above as all countries. Telesign's intelligence solution has no real geographical bounds due to the sheer amount of traffic we've seen across the world. Moving on to industries. You'll notice a wide range of sectors experiencing the impact of fraud, from payment and financial services, which is an industry seeking out solutions to stop fraud, all the way to e-commerce and beyond. Any company with a digital presence is at risk for fraud, but some industries will definitely face more significant consequences when fraud occurs. For instance, financial services definitely feel more pain acutely due to the higher value of transactions and the greater reputational risk involved. Fraud in this sector can lead to the direct financial loss and any regulatory consequences, making it a more attractive target for fraudsters. Now, I want to draw your attention to the use case graphs here. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. One of the most prominent use cases we see is fraudulent account registration and credit card applications. Fraudsters can create these accounts using synthetic identities, which is ultimately a mix of real and fake information designed to bypass the traditional security checks. Preventing this kind of fraud is essential for protecting customers and maintaining trust overall. Another popular use case of that Telesign solves is IRSF or SMS pumping fraud. If you as a company send out SMS or voice OTPs, you're vulnerable to these attack vectors, where fraudsters are utilizing revenue sharing agreements on an international and premium rate phone numbers to generate artificial traffic and leave you stuck with a big bill from the telecom providers. Okay, so now let's get into the block and allow graph here. Here you'll see how the solution categorizes traffic based on the likelihood of fraud. Allow means the transaction is deemed clean. Flag means there's further investigation that is required to look at the actual transaction. And then block means we've identified enough high-risk behavior to categorize this transaction as potentially fraudulent. These decisions are powered by our over 2,000 signals within this intelligence solution, helping our system to make that real-time data-backed decision. Lastly, let's expand on the stats by taking a deeper look at the block rates themselves. This graph provides a clear picture of how consistently we're blocking fraud across different use cases. For instance, in areas like account registration and sign-up, our solution has identified and blocked about 42% of potentially fraudulent activity, illustrating the sheer amount of fraud that is focused on creating fraudulent accounts. Or in the case of IRSF and SMS pumping fraud, we've managed to block 26% of traffic due to those signals and behaviors we've seen in these phone numbers where we believe they may be engaged in telecom fraud. Now, looking at the sheer amount of traffic that we've seen here, at a sum of 65 million transactions for all of the POCs, we have a good understanding of the traffic that is coming in that looks good versus the traffic that doesn't look so great. And then lastly, I want to take a quick look at the overall average block rate that we have here, which is going to be 14.81%. So that's roughly, of the entire 65 million, we've deemed that 14.81% of that traffic is in some way fraudulent, which just shows the sheer amount of fraudulent phone number-based and identity-based information out there that is attempting to go through any digital platform within the ecosystem. So now, if you thought any of this was insightful, or you'd like to dive deeper and get a better understanding of how our intelligence solution works in real time, I invite you all to drop by booth 207, as well as our demo booth stand, where we can run a check on your phone number, as well as any sample phone numbers you might have, whether it's on your phone that you're getting spam texts from, or any phone numbers that you guys have seen within the platforms that you work with. And from that, we can answer any questions you may have about the solution and show it all right then and there.